The two entities, SCP-073 and SCP-076, share a history that transcends the realms of the anomalous and the biblical. Locked within the confines of the SCP Foundation, their tales intertwine in a narrative that echoes the age-old biblical story of Cain and Abel, weaving together the threads of myth and anomaly. In the SCP Foundation's classified archives lies a file that blurs those boundaries. SCP-076, codenamed Able, spelled ABLE, stands as a testament to the convergence of biblical lore and the mysterious world of the SCP Foundation. In the previous entry, we've covered Kane's file, SCP-073. In this one, we're going to uncover the SCP-076 containment procedures. Able is a relentless force of violence and regeneration, embodying a modern incarnation of the biblical story of Abel, a story of two brothers torn asunder by jealousy and divine favor. The ancient story of Cain and Abel, the first sons of Adam and Eve, unfolds within the SCP-076 narrative. The biblical Abel, favored by the divine, met a tragic end at the hands of his brother Cain, consumed by envy and resentment. However, in the SCP Foundation's rendition, Abel manifests as an entity forged in an extraterrestrial crucible, seemingly destined to inflict chaos upon the world. As the Foundation tries to understand and contain SCP-076, questions arise. Does Abel's existence merely echo the biblical tragedy? Or is there a deeper connection that binds these narratives? The containment file starts with an email sent from Dr. to Director Maria Jones, Record Keeping and Information Security Administration, regarding the subject of revision of SCP-076 SCP file.
I have to go on record as saying that I seriously object to the proposed revisions of the SCP-076 Special Containment Procedures file. I know that did already claims it's a security risk, but you and I both know it's just top brass trying to sweep their biggest and most embarrassing mistake ever under the damn rug. Omega-7 happened. It existed. Those people died because you screwed up, and you cannot change that no matter how hard you try to hide it. For God's sake, those people guarding him deserve to know exactly what he is and what he did. What we did. How we fucked up. So they'll know better.
Item number SCP-076. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Containment Area 25B is to be located 200 meters below sea level, tunneled out of solid bedrock in a seismologically stable area. Sole access to the containment facility is to be through a vertical elevator shaft separated every 50 meters with a reinforced glass door, constructed of 20 centimeter thick material shielding. The elevator shaft shall be flooded with seawater when not in use. Containment Area 25B is to be constructed with the following components. 1. An outer security perimeter against outside threats, staffed by security personnel trained in close-quarter combat and counter-intrusion tactics. An administrative and support area, ASA, consisting of support facilities and living quarters for on-site personnel. A primary containment zone consisting of a 7-meter cube encased in 1.5 meters of reinforced material. The primary containment zone is to be designed to be flooded and drained as needed, and should remain filled with seawater unless access to its content is required. A 150-meter killing corridor, which is to be the sole access to the primary containment zone from the ASA, including water, power, drainage, and ventilation lines. The walls and floors of the corridor are to be reinforced in a similar manner to the primary containment zone, with the addition of an electric deterrence system capable of delivering a 20,000-volt shock. A security station located at the entrance to the killing corridor is to be staffed with no fewer than 3 armed security personnel on watch at any one point in time. Armaments are to include, but not limited to, and a CIW system on a pintle mount with a line of sight down the corridor, with a plexiglass screen to protect the operator from thrown weapons. In the event of a full breach, all on-site staff are to proceed immediately to the closest security station for weapons and armor distribution. Staff will remain at Alert Condition 1 until SCP-076-2 is confirmed neutralized. Should 90 minutes pass after the declaration of full breach without a stand-down order being given by Level 4 or higher personnel, final contingency measures will be activated, flooding the entire facility in seawater and sealing off all exits for a minimum of 24 hours before retrieval is attempted. This will, by necessity, result in the death of all on-site staff. Description: SCP-076 consists of 2 components. One is a stone cube designated SCP-076-1, and a humanoid entity contained within, designated SCP-076-2. SCP-076-1 is a 3-meter cube made of black speckled metamorphic stone. All surfaces outside and within SCP-076-1 are covered in deeply engraved patterns corresponding to no known civilization. Radioisotope analysis indicates that the object is approximately 10,000 years old. A sealed door is located on the side with a lock that is 0.5 meters in width, surrounded by 20 smaller locks in a circular pattern. As of yet, none of the keys have been found, making the door impossible to lock once closed. The interior temperature is approximately 93 Kelvin and cannot be altered by any means, internal or external. Directly in the center of the room is a 2.13-meter tall stone coffin, held in place and sealed shut by several chains of unknown make and substance, which are attached to the inner corners of SCP-076-1. SCP-076-2 resembles a lean Semitic human male in his 20s. His hair is black, his eyes are gray, and his skin tone is olive. The subject is 1.96 meters in height and weighs 81.65 kilograms. Numerous tattoos depicting arcane and occult iconography are present all over the body, mostly in the form of leering demonic faces, and ranges from subtle to ostentatious. The subject, when encased inside SCP-076-1, is technically dead. However, occasionally, SCP-076-2 will awaken, effectively reanimating, complete with all vital processes needed to sustain a living human being. The subject will then attempt to leave SCP-076-1. If successful, the subject will enter a trance state and seek out the nearest human beings, ignoring all other living things in the process. It is expected from SCP-076-2 to enter a rage state in which you'll attempt to engage and kill all human beings encountered. To date, only the subject's death has shown to be effective in ending these rampages. Now, when it comes to terminating SCP-076-2, it's often problematic to say the least, because of his significant physical abilities. The subject has superhuman strength and speed, and although he's not invulnerable, he has shown a remarkable ability to ignore pain and shock, pressing on despite what would be debilitating wounds in normal humans. Encounters have shown that SCP-076-2 has the ability to, among other things, rip through a reinforced steel security door over the course of 4 minutes of sustained assault. SCP-076-2 could easily clear a distance of 64 meters in 3 seconds. Take multiple 50 cal BMG rounds to the head and survive for several minutes to continue killing, despite the severe damage to the cerebellum. SCP-076-2 could swat with handgun and assault rifle caliber bullets out of thin air with length of steel rebar. He could also survive for 1 hour deprived of oxygen before he would finally asphyxiate. SCP-076-2's most unusual ability, however, is his ability to apparently materialize bladed weapons out of nowhere. Slow-motion video footage reveals that the blades in question are actually pulled from a miniature dimensional rift, described as a small hole in space. Where this portal leads to is unknown, as is how SCP-076-2 is capable of generating said rifts. Footage of the blades in question shows them to be made out of completely non-reflective black material, appearing as a black void in space. As the blades rapidly vanish after leaving the subject's position, no structural analysis is possible at this time. SCP-076-2 has effectively been killed several times in various manners. 1. Sustained fire from multiple heavy caliber machine guns. 2. Asphyxiation. 3. Crushed beneath a 13.6 metric ton piece of elevator equipment for use on SCP-076-1. Cremation through the use of a thermal TH3 grenade placed directly inside SCP-076-2's open chest cavity. 4. During the worst breach to date, Containment Area 25 was forced to detonate its on-site warhead as a last attempt to contain SCP-076-2 while it was trying to attempt escaping, resulting in the total destruction of the site and all on-site personnel. However, SCP-076-1 survived. When SCP-076-2 dies, his remains will putrefy rapidly until reduced to dust. SCP-076-1 and the coffin within will then slam shut with great force, and the lock will rotate, sealing it shut. SCP-076-2 will then reform within the coffin. The process takes anywhere from 6 hours to 25 years. What posthumous analysis of SCP-076-2 exists shows that it has an internal system that is highly different from our own, and it's documented in SCP-076 was found in Mongolia in 18 by archaeologists from England. All members of the expedition were subsequently killed on the return voyage home. SCP-076 was recovered from the ship society, one of the organizations that later merged into the modern Global Occult Coalition and placed on display in their inner sanctum. SCP-076 remained in storage for years until SCP-076-2 became active and escaped on. The reason for SCP-076-2's activation is currently unknown, but it was at that point that the keys of the outer shell were lost. A massive manhunt lasting over place until SCP-076-2 was incapacitated by killing it and causing it to reform inside SCP-076-1, by then retrieved and secured by agents of the SCP Foundation. The subject was in custody for 3 more years and under constant supervision, and was terminated whenever it became active. Although it occasionally was able to escape for short periods of time, often due to security breaches caused by attacks from other organizations. The Foundation's death toll due to this was after the last incident, the current containment procedures regarding SCP-076 were implemented, and it is upgraded regularly with the increase in technological standards. Now, this is not the end of SCP-076. Next is the addendum, SCP-076-2, Project Able, and Mobile Task Force Omega-7.